Alright, I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. So one thing that I've been doing for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 6 years, there's like 6 of these little letters to myself here, is at the end of every year, rather at the beginning of every year, I read one of these letters to myself, and then after I read this letter to myself, I write another letter to myself for the new year. This one here says open in 2025. I guess my name is Jonathan Ngo. Most of y'all call me Jono, and I'd like to reintroduce myself, and this is the way I'd like to do it. But first, coffee and and also milk. So give me a minute. Up, 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 up. Ah, oh, ah, oh, eh, oh, ah, eh. Oh, ah, eh. Oh, ah, eh, eh, oh, ah, oh, ah, oh, ah, eh, eh, oh, ah. Hey. That's a good smile. You okay now? Okay. So let's give this another go. These letters to myself. I guess I'll share the 2024 letter for 2025. Yo, hey from a year ago. How's it going at the moment? My assumption from the 12th of Feb 2024, yes, 47 days late. Not the latest you've been though, is that you are probably quite tired, you're probably scared, you're probably also filled with more love than you have ever experienced before. Anyway, let's get to it and talk about this at the end of this letter. So 2023 just happened. This year started with heavy thoughts and feelings. This little one. Oh, okay, let's try that again. So 2023 just happened. The year started with heavy thoughts and feelings. Uncle Dad had liver cancer. At the beginning of the year he seemed fine. By the time it was his birthday in April, he still seemed fine. But let's go back to Jan. I spent as much time as I could with him in Jan. I started walking to Uncle Dad and Auntie Lou's house. He allowed me to process thoughts before I arrived. I'll say smoked. I took the chance to chill anyway. Jan, as I said, was fine. He was active, he went on walks, he couldn't walk as much. He said he was short energy, but he was doing his treatments. He was keeping hope. In April, I went back to Adelaide for his 50th birthday. It was also my grandma's 80th. The grandparents didn't know. He still seemed fine. I spent a lot more time with him on this trip. I kept doing my walks to his place. They laughed at me when I did this, but I needed it. We had so many great chats on this trip. He shared with me in detail about his treatment. It actually all seemed okay. One conversation I hold on to, we went to lunch at the cafe close by. He was tired. Once we got to the cafe, we sat and I shared with him a thought, a fear and a comfort about what was going on and what he was going through. I'd never been scared of death, but in the past few years my own mortality worried me. I was scared of it. Knowing he was going through what he was with my aunt and my cousins and that he will die, it gives me comfort that I can do it too. It gives me the comfort that he might be on the other side. If there is a damn side. He then shares with me he has to come to terms with it. What pains him is Kate and A, the experiences not being there for them, the milestones. He started crying. This truly pained him. I then told him it's tragic because I grew up to know my uncle as a man, a great man, that supported me so much in my adult life, and his kids won't know him the way I do. I told him I'll always be there. I'll be there for them, for my aunt. He then says to me they'll be fine for finances. My aunt will not need to work. She's working right now. Of course, he sorted it all out already. He was really a man about it. For his birthday, Philip, Simon and I got him and the family a photo shoot. The other conversations were just chats. I did what I always did, told stories, shared my plans for the year, and we just hung out. It just didn't feel real with the cancer. The next time we travelled back to Adelaide was September. It was an annoying trip. My aunt and uncle were away in Melbourne while I was there. My uncle got my aunt a designer bag and a Cartier love bracelet for her 50th birthday. Anyway, I saw them before they went to Melbourne, and when they came back, I saw them twice. I noticed he was a lot more tired. He shared with me on this trip that he felt more pain. He'd come back worse after we thought the treatment was working. I didn't know this was going to be the last time I would see him in person. I could tell when I was with him that he was suffering. I also knew he wasn't taking painkillers. He wanted to stay lucid. Our chats again. Like always, they were fun. He always imparted knowledge and wisdom for me to grow. We talked about the idea of hope. We also talked about finances, money, growth, travel. He was very jealous I was going to Nepal. Anyway, on the last visit, I was sick. I stayed away all visit from him. I couldn't spread my flu. But when we were leaving, I said, fuck it, I'm hugging you. I told him I loved him. He told me he loved me. I held on to that hug. It was the last time I hugged him. On the 28th of September, my aunt sent me a text saying he wasn't a candidate for the experimental trial. I met a random that was a friend's sister. She was a scientist doing liver cancer research. I had hoped when I met her, it felt serendipitous, but also it could have just been fortuitous, our meeting. Anyway, that engagement didn't turn out. A few weeks later, I called my aunt to chat. After about an hour, my aunt asked whether I wanted to speak with my uncle. She passed him the phone. He was in bed. Aiden was next to him. He hadn't responded to my texts and he apologized. I then asked him for advice I needed, and he was brutally honest with me. He had lost his voice. He was losing more hair. I remember so clearly him saying, "This is how I sound now." I knew it wasn't going well. We had a 5-minute chat, and that was the last time we spoke. On October 25th, I was in the office on a call, and Philip calls me. It was happening. Uncle Dad had been admitted to hospital. I dropped everything. We got the fastest flight back. I landed the next morning at 8 a.m. in Adelaide. He passed away 10 hours earlier. My uncle passed away. I still miss him so much. It's only been 4 months. He had a beautiful funeral. So many people came. At the funeral, it was an open casket. I'm glad I went early to the ceremony. I had some time with him alone. I also touched him. He was cold. It's strange, but it was just the body. He wasn't there anymore. When I got sad, I watched the tribute video Kate and I made. I remember so much that he taught me. I also remember how he lived his life and what his dreams were. I want to live out those dreams for him. I'm taking my aunt to Africa. We'll go on a safari. I'll run the New York Marathon with Aiden. I'll look after my favourite. I'll tell her every time I see her that she is my favourite. I'm so sorry your life was cut short, Uncle Dad. I told your sister at your burial that you had it right. At 40, Uncle Dat, you only work 2 days a week. The rest of the time you spent with my aunt and your kids. You had it right, man. You did it right. I'm beating you. You can fucking count on it. I'm beating you at fucking everything. You taught me when I was young that each generation in our culture, it is expected that we do better than the last. You set this bar so high for us. I will believe in myself. I will not stop. You taught me better. Uncle Dad. By the way, Joan's pregnant. It's happening. You said to me ages ago when I said, I'll be single forever. I said I'll be single forever. I said that I won't have kids because you need 2 people for the kids. And your response to me was, John, when it happens, it all happens very quick. Just wait. Uncle Dad, it's all happening very quick. I miss you. I love you. So that was a lot to unpack, but let's put a pause there. How's everything else going? Joan and I are still traveling. In 2023, I went back to Australia 5 times. Joan did too. Went back separately once each. Aside from that, we did 4 destinations together. Hong Kong was awesome. They just opened. India was also fabulous. We spent our anniversary at the Taj Mahal. We did Thailand for a weekend and we went on a hike with Joan's parents in Nepal. Also did another 5 countries. Mexico City was fun. I spent my birthday week there. Went to LA, hung out at Stace. And looped back to London, saw some old friends and celebrated a 30th with my friend Tara. Went back to India for work and I saw my bestie Michael in New York for a week. I always forgot I went to Germany for 4 days. I guess that's a great segue to the why. So death. There were also so many marriages this year. It's why we travelled to India in March, Matt and Tanisha, and a bloody great 4-day party that was. Next was Tree and Van. That was a clusterfuck because of COVID. But the party went on. I hooked some shit up. I was the best man after all. Next was BB and Basti. I didn't book to the last minute. We were too concerned about money, but fuck it. I'm not missing loved ones' milestones. The break is a family. Seeing BB's face when I got there was priceless. I also got a fucking party. I also got a great fucking party. The last wedding was Joan's bestie and our childhood friend Claire. She married Lucas, a German. She always loved her Germans. That was in Hobart. A great setting for a wedding. It was also refreshing to see friends I haven't seen in probably 15 years. There's a pattern to our travel. It's our friends. Many are like family to me. A lot of my friends can't and think they can't. And without the travel, I'd never see them. But I fucking can, and I will. Because they matter to me. It's also the opportunity to experience more, living more. After travel, I guess it's about the professional. I got let go in February. Zoom let me go. They also fucked me out of about 100k worth of stock. I was about to vest. I don't hold that much resentment anymore. There was a lot of learnings, and really how lucky was I to do what I did there. I absolutely dominated for 4 years. It's time to move on. Being out of a job though was very stressful. I made it a goal to get a job ASAP, so much so that I set myself a standard. If I couldn't get a job, no one can. And I had 2 offers in 60 days. I joined a blockchain startup called Accredify. It was tough to start with, but I was also taking it easier. So much was not set up, but I don't mind the chaos. I just did what I knew. Do more, do it faster, systemize. I also got our proposal to a G20 event in India. We We got into the hackathon. Pity we lost. I met some good friends there though. On coming back, I was ready for it. The pressure was on. It was about 3 months or 4 months into the role and had nothing enclosed yet. 2 months later, the CEO and I had a chat. Some things were working, some weren't, but then something changed. Deals started closing, and they started closing during the hardest period, Uncle Dad's passing. I thought I bought myself some more time, but I got a call on the 2nd of January 2024, and I was let go. I was confused, but I also understand the company was and is being very good to me. Hopefully you can get another month out of them. I did. But what was great about the role, I learned a new skill I can manage. And I'm better than most managers, I think. I led by example, I mentored, I got one of them hired. I also had to hold my tongue at times. I needed to practice patience. Big takeaway there. Another one was probably at the beginning, I was acting with too much haste, thinking I needed a new role immediately. I didn't do my due diligence. The TAM, total addressable market, was never going to make me any money I needed. Any big learning here, I'm not rushing now. Last but not least, Hakeem. A lad, a homie, a potential business partner. That didn't work out. So what else? Now then, professionally. I have a startup idea that solves an emotional problem for every parent. It's a work in progress, but all the pitches so far has gone down well. What else? Boyd and I are starting our podcast this year. That also stopped. The cave is set up. Motherfucker needs to get back now. Be fucking smart about it! Exclamation mark. I say that to myself. Podcasts tend to end at 6 episodes, so hack that stat. The other pet project is Jono running singers. I did a lot of running. So I've been getting pretty good at it too. I'm gonna catalog my stories in short form video and just tell stories, hopefully inspire someone to get off their ass. The next topic is always a touchy one. How's your dad? I'm dealing with him differently, but you know what you're getting. You're getting better at it. He always will be a trigger, but you're doing the right thing. It's okay to feel the way you do. And your mum? You didn't see her enough this year. She's tough. We are great when we regularly chat, but when we don't, she just vents at me. It's a one-sided relationship when she just does this. But that's also okay. Maybe we speak more regularly. You gotta do it first though. And the last one, my beloved little brother. Relationship is still on the mend. He has a girlfriend. I'm happy for him. That's also okay. I stay out of his business now. The wider family is okay. Just keep checking in on them. Do what Uncle Dad would want you to do. And now Joan. We've grown together this year. We are dealing with one another better. I need to continue supporting her and she with me. I feel like she understands me better than ever. She has been my why all year. She's been my calm all year. It's been a big year. She truly is a saint. So all year long we were planning when we were going to start trying for kids. We set a goal of the end of the year after Nepal. Did you know that altitude in pregnancy doesn't work? Anyway, we waited. And then we tried. 3 times from memory. The first time was the 3rd of January. Joan's parents weren't at home. I was excited. Yay, sex, lots of it. 3 weeks later, we're back in Singapore. I was hanging up prayer flags And for some reason, Joan did a test and we were pregnant. That moment changed everything. A miracle was growing inside her. There's more on your shoulders now. The 5-year goal is now. You are an entrepreneur. You have to start acting like one now. No more excuses. You have to do it all now. It's bigger than you. Now. There's legacy. Uncle Dat. Yours, your future legacy. You have to construct the life that you want. Believe in yourself. Lots of people do. Listen to your heart. Follow your mind. Keep moving. Fight off death. Eat well. Look after Joan. Show up for every fucking day. And absolutely fucking kill it. Take a deep breath. You're a father now, Jonathan. Damn.